Welcome to another episode of Detroit Table Talk. You are hanging out with the hostess of the mostest, Carmen. Well, it's only me, so you hanging out with me on today. It is a beautiful day in the neighborhood, as Mr. Rogers would say. It's a little rainy out there, a little cold, but in essence, it's still a beautiful day. Today, I want to just talk about a few current events or different things that is happening inside of our neighborhood. Is that one already uploaded? Okay, we're gonna play that. Inside our neighborhood, and um, and I didn't. I just thought you had uploaded it because it was up there playing. But anywho, we just talking. So Um, I just wanted to talk about a few things that's going on in the neighborhood, and it's a couple of things that has really got me rattled because I just feel like we as African American people, we got to do better. We got to give or show a little bit more grace. Um, Sometimes we got to mind our own dang on business. And sometimes we have to learn to do research and not always go off of what we see on social media. Because a little bit of what you see on social media, it may be some facts to it, but the overall, people be lying. People be lying. People be clearing their name. People be wanting to make sure that they, look um, in the best light possible if they can. So we just want to talk about a few things when it comes to our current events. And one of them I wanted to talk about. Listen, we have dealt with so many gas station shootings, whether it was customer to customer or customer to gas station owner or employee. So I want to talk about an alleged shooting that took place at a gas station that was caught on camera. Now, I say alleged because, we just always say alleged, to make sure that we are cleared of anything that we may say that may not be factual in its totality. So, it was an alleged shooting, although it was caught on camera. So it's not alleged, but it is alleged, okay? That the person who did the shooting did it. Now, I don't know. I'm not in court. I can't identify him. I wasn't at the gas station. So I can't 100% say that the person that they eventually caught up with was indeed the person who was alleged to be the person who was doing the shooting. But let's just recap. You go to a gas station and maybe the customer who was an African American male chose to have some words with the gas station attendant. They go back and forth. I don't know how the gas station attendant found himself outside of the bulletproof glass, outside of the gas station, where he was met with quite a few people, and somehow the attendant said something that rattled the other person's, chains, which was the African American man. And lo and behold, the African American man got so upset where he reached all the way down in the midst of his soul and commenced to allegedly hawk and spit on the gas station attendant. Now listen, everybody and their mama know if something like that happened, what's finna take place. It's about to be a whole situation. But no, he didn't just spit on the man. He hawked and spit on him. And the gas station attendant didn't take that, very lightly. He ended up pulling out a 9mm and started letting off some shots in the guy's direction. If I'm not mistaken, I think he shot at the young man 6 times. You could tell he don't need to carry a firearm, because if you let off 6 shots and not one hit, one, God was with you and he was, he wanted to save your disrespectful soul. Or 2, the young man ain't had no kind of firearm training. Because if you shooting 6 times and not one of them hit him, yeah, it's time for you to go somewhere and sit down and thank God that you're still alive. So the young man who spit on him also had a firearm that he had on him, which he wasn't supposed to have a firearm on him. But he did not pull that firearm out. Or maybe I should talk in hood terms. He didn't pull his gun out and start shooting back. He just commenced to walking away and walking down the street. The gas station attendant went back into the store. Of course, Southfield Police Department showed up on the scene, found the African-American man walking down the street, arrested him, and then in exchange went back to the gas station and arrested the gas station attendant. Now, the gas station attendant did have a legal... Do you need something? The gas station attendant did have a legal CPL. So he was able to carry his, but the gentleman who caused the conflict, who spit on him, did not have a valid CPL. So they both was arrested, went to court, and they both was given which is crazy. They both was given a bond. That's kind of unheard of. Now, they were, okay. They were both given a personal bond. It's crazy. I want y'all to just see this, because this is foolishness to me.
Listen to these results. 100 million.
Uh-oh. Hold on. I don't think I did that right. Wait a minute. Hold on. Y'all got the wrong one. Trying to do some technology stuff. Y'all, hold on. It's gonna come on. Just give me a second. Okay, well, maybe you're not gonna see it. I know, but I don't know how to get to the video. Or maybe this have to play out. So anywho, they both have personal bonds. And the one was charged with having a firearm. I don't know what happened. No, we're not doing that. Okay, well, forget it. Unless I can go back and do it again and show the video. Okay, push play. Okay. And then I blow it up from here. Yep.
Dispute over chicken that resulted in gunfire.
We'll start this one in the middle of the story. In a second, you'll see the guy in all black hawk a loogie at a gas station clerk, and in return, the clerk allegedly fires 6 shots.
And just thank goodness there was no families, no children in that background.
Run it back. It started last Tuesday inside this gas station / chicken spot in Southfield off Greenfield near 10 Mile. The customer in all black and a yellow hat, 39-year-old Alan Blair, apparently felt slighted by staff while ordering chicken. That's actually what this is all over, chicken.
As a result of that, he became angry, and then a fight ensued.
Blair was outnumbered, then pushed out of the gas station. Let's play back that loogie bit. That set the clerk off, who pulled out his 9mm. Police say his name is Mejid Saleh, 22 years old.
The clerk fired his weapon approximately 6 times. At that time, the customer did not fire, however, retreated.
Blair had a gun too, illegally, and chose not to fire and walked off down Greenfield.
Colored State's male pulled down the clerk and shot him.
Right there. Slow down. Come on, get up on.
Southfield police spot him in minutes.
Get on the ground right now, police! Don't move!
And then on to the clerk who stayed at the gas station.
You gotta hang out with us. Okay? Thank you. And lock your fingers.
Anything going on? I'm gonna stay today, or how is that gonna go?
You're gonna hang out tonight, yeah.
We're going to hold everybody accountable because this is irresponsible behavior.
It's true, but both men are out of custody on personal bonds. Interesting choice by the courts given the charges. Blair is charged with gun crimes and Saleh charged with assault with a dangerous weapon. He did have a CPL. There's a but though.
You cannot fire these weapons indiscriminately, and you definitely cannot introduce a handgun to an equation unless it's life-threatening.
Okay, so we're talking both of those suspects had personal bonds.
Now, I don't know if I didn't see the young man Blair pull out a firearm. I know he had one, but I didn't see it. However, to charge him with a gun crime and the attendant who literally fired 6 shots that's just crazy to me. That's crazy. But again, we got to get to the point where we stop disrespecting, each other. Now, I don't know how he felt slighted with the chicken. I don't know. Maybe they gave him the smaller piece, or maybe they didn't give him quite the amount that he asked for. But could that have been handled differently? I feel like absolutely. Absolutely. There are many times I go into those gas stations and, some of them are quite rude and stuff like that. But I choose not to go back. I choose not to spend my dollar where I'm not respected or honored. So how we go from chicken to, gunfire, it's like, that's crazy. That's wild to me. I just don't understand it. But, that's what we're dealing with in these days, and times. But this is not the first gas station shooting. Maybe about a year ago. I don't even know if it's been a year. Right there on 6 Mile and the Lodge, where the gas station attendant shot at, once again, an African-American person went into the gas station, caught himself taking a bag of chips. I don't know if it was the little bag or the big bag, but at the end of the day, it couldn't have been no more than $2.69. And he walked out. The gas station attendant decided to come from behind the counter, chase him down, and fire at him. And of course, New Era Detroit went over to the gas station along with, the several news stations, a couple of people in the community, and they got the gas station shut down. Now, do we need to do something about gas stations and violence? Absolutely. But we also have to do something about people, learning you can't disrespect people. People are on the edge, any and everything. People pop off, or as my children say, they crash out. And you may be on the other end of that crash out. So we just have to be mindful. So we're going to see if the charges are going to be changed against the gas station attendant, because when you have a CPL, you can't act in a manner that will put, the public in danger. Because it was like, 5 other people standing out there? that could have been, killed. I don't know, but you can't do that. You can't use a firearm to solve, to solve issues. You have to find another way to get, resolution or a solution to these issues. Now, I have a story that I want to kind of talk about because I love this person. And I know some people may not, but I want to say I love him because I don't know him like that. I like some of his music. So I want to talk about what was trending this week when it came to Young Thug. Now, we all know Young Thug was a part of the YSL RICO trial. Well, we don't even know if he was really part of YSL. It was alleged that he was a part of YSL. Now, to go over a little timeline with you, I just want to go back with you. They started a jury selection in January of 2023, but I think it really started in 2022. And because they didn't do the opening statements till 2023. That's so crazy to me. So May the 9th, 2022, Young Thug, who we all know as Young Thug, but his real name is Jeffrey Williams, was booked into jail and charged on a criminal gang activity. Y'all better stay from down there in the ATL. ATL ain't playing with y'all African American people. Yeah, they trumping up charges as quick as you can come down here. Okay, January the 4th, on my birthday, I was so heartbroken. Why did they pick that day? But on January the 4th of 2023, they started with the jury selection for the RICO trial against Young Thug and, quite a few of his co-defendants. We all know, what's the young man name that became kind of popular out of that trial? The one that was giving him the business through the whole trial. Do you remember his name, Rico?
Talking about Woody.
Woody. Listen, that trial was the most hilarious trial that I have ever in my lifetime witnessed, that I have ever sat for them many hours watching, from the start, from the first judge to Woody to the prosecutors. It was hilarious. But on the same time, it was kind of sad because you had people's lives at stake or whatever. So, on my birthday, they started the jury selection. Then on November the 1st, after multiple delays, a jury was selected and seated. Then we go down to November the 27th, the day after my mother's birthday. They began opening statements. Then we're going to go to December the 12th, where Shannon Stillwell is stabbed during a fight in jail, which caused the trial to be delayed again. So then on October the 31st of 2024, of course, we get to the end and Young Thug accepts a plea deal, which was outrageous. But he accepts a plea deal and is sentenced to 40 years, 5 years in prison, 15 years on probation, and a backload of 20 years in prison if probation is violated. In other words, they gave him a crappy plea deal, but he was able to go home. On the 30th, Thug is released from jail after accepting that crazy plea deal. Then, December the 3rd, the remaining two co-defendants were found not guilty. This is my opinion, I think if Young Thug would have held out a little bit longer, because they absolutely had nothing on him, he would have been cleared of all charges as well. Now, let's fly on up down the street to where we are right now, April of 2025. A violation that was put in to the courts to violate Young Thug's probation. I'm sitting there and I'm reading it, I'm looking at it, and it's all over, social media. Breaking news, Fullerton County has put in a violation for Young Thug, and they want to make him, turn himself in immediately and stuff like that. Just crazy, crazy, crazy. Now the accusations was let me see if I can read you some of the accusation. I don't want to go off into that. So Fannie, we all know Fannie Willis. She filed a 14-page motion on April the 2nd, alleging that Young Thug had violated his the terms of his probation through online behavior, which included a recent but now deleted post targeting a DA investigator by name and photo. In the post, Williams reportedly called or allegedly called the investigator the biggest liar in the DA office. Now, I don't know if you guys watched the trial, but when the trial was going on, what had taken place was they had an investigator who was called to the stand. They got it where the judge decided not to show her face. However, the investigator had, if I'm not mistaken, had worked several cases that was on the first 48. So everybody pretty much knew who she was. And that's what the defendant's attorney was kind of like trying to get the judge to realize, you know, we're concealing her identity. Why? She's a public, she's a police officer. She's a part of this investigation. She's worked on television. You know, she's been involved in different cases or whatever. But the judge went ahead and went along with the prosecutor and said, okay, we can keep the camera down where it doesn't show her face and all that stuff. Well, yeah, it got out who she was, and it started just like being posted throughout the internet, you know, who the investigator was. Well, okay, moving back up to the timeline now. Fannie Willis claimed that the post led to threats against the investigator and her family, including doxing. And usually what doxing mean is they usually release like your phone number, your address, or some kind of location that they know that you're in. You know, just your personal information. So, yeah. They went to court and a judge was like, yeah, we're not doing this again. You know, of course, his attorney, Brian Steele denied any wrongdoing by his client or anything like that. He told him, you know, that it was baseless. You know, they were just trying to find a reason to violate Young Thug. You know, I'm just going to be honest with you. When you have the kind of probation that he has, it's almost like you just need to stay in the house. Don't get on social media. Don't go outside. You definitely can't go to no parties. If you are on if you know, have a concert, you got to hire top flight security because your hands can't be involved in nothing. They made that probation stuff just, it was just too much. It was too much. So yeah, of course, the attorney still answered the motion and it went before the judge. And the judge decided that that he had not violated any wrongdoing. And that's kind of, that leads us back to our Constitution. They are really trying to do away with our Constitution. I don't understand how she even wanted him to be violated because he shared a post that somebody else posted and said that this person was the biggest liar. The post did not connect her with his case in no way or anything like that. It was actually connected to another case that didn't have anything to do with him. But listen, Young Thug, if you out there and you listening, just chill, dude. Just post about your music, post about your family, you know, post about your friends. You know, the streets is hot. Honestly, I would love for you to get away from Atlanta, but I know that that's your home base. That's where you like to, you know, chill. That's where your family is. But I would get long away from that place if it was for me. But hey, you do what you do. I'm just glad that once again, Young Thug is free. He never was put in custody or anything like that. But I'm just saying he's free. He can go on and live his life as he has been doing since he has been out of jail. And I think he's really a good guy. Now, I don't know what he's connected to. I don't know nothing about YSL. I don't know nothing about these people lifestyle. I only like his music. And I don't know the name of none of it. I just know it when I hear it. So, do you like Young Thug? You like his music?
I like some of it. I haven't really followed him like that. Some of the music, the first song that I heard was that Lifestyle, and that was with
I love it.
that was with Birdman and them. So I actually liked that song, but the first time I heard it, I actually thought that was Lil Wayne at first, like the way the hook sound.
Did you? You know what I did too?
Yeah, when
I
I
did
started
too.
seeing him wearing dresses and all that type of stuff, I ain't really follow too much of his music. But there's certain songs I know, but I ain't with all that wearing dresses and all that type of stuff.
Now, was it a dress or was it one of those?
He done had all kind of dresses and wedding gowns and
Young
fingernails
Thug?
painted. Yeah, he done all types of stuff like that.
I see
But
now.
I guess that's just his character. Like, just like somebody like Busta Rhymes is like animated, or Missy Elliott or something. You got certain artists could do certain things and then some can't. But I ain't with all that dress stuff.
Is it part of his creativity, or does that
I
not
don't
matter?
know. Like I say, I heard that Lifestyle. I was feeling that song. There's a couple of other songs that I heard. Then when him and Rich Homie Quan made a few songs and stuff together, I listened to some of it. But I've never had a whole. Then times are different now. You hear certain songs, like back in the days, you would get a whole album and listen to it and see what songs you like. Nowadays, it's like some of these albums, it's only might be a few songs that you even hear off the whole album.
Okay,
unless
so
you're just a fan
Rich
of that
Gang,
person
that's
like
what
that.
it's called. Rich Gang Lifestyle, featuring Young Thug and Rich Homie Quan. Now, Rich Homie Quan is the one that passed.
Yeah.
Okay. Y'all like this song. And to be honest with you, the first time I heard it was when they played it in court. And at the same time, all the attorneys started doing this. I said, this boy's going home.
That song been out. That's a kind of old song. That's like the first song I ever heard him on.
Is it?
Pretty sure people in Atlanta heard of him before then, but that's the first song I heard him on. But that had to be over probably at least about maybe 10 years ago or something like that. I'm not sure. It's older though.
Can I play like two seconds of it?
Possibly, but I might need to hook that up for them to hear it.
Can they hear it through my mic?
They probably can hear it a little bit. You play it.
I love this song. Uh-oh. Wait a minute, y'all. Let me play this commercial out. 'Cause I don't really like rap, but I really like this song. I'm just gonna be honest with y'all. Okay, let me hear you. Listen. Yeah, this is music. Listen. I don't know what they saying. Okay, I don't know not one word what they saying, but I'm telling you, this is the song.
And that's kind of how it's catchy. The beat is what catch you, but then
Yeah.
the stuff he's saying, you don't know what he's saying, but it's just kind of catchy because it's going with the beat. So it sounds so crazy that it make you kind of listen to it.
I'm like, what? What is he
Only thing
saying?
you know is Lifestyle.
But it makes me want to like look up the lyrics
Yeah.
and then play the song and see if I can keep up with the same. That's how much I like this song.
Yeah, you done had 1,000 comedians make fun of that part too, because don't nobody really understand exactly what he's saying.
Not nothing. But listen, I wanted to, welcome home, Young Thug, once again. I was so excited when he came home. I was just like, yes, he's going home to his family. But anywho, we've had this trending topic going on for the last week now. Talking about the house on Lakewood, the house that is owned by Charles. I think it's Charles C. Brooks or Charles Brooks Jr. I just don't know. I don't know what we doing out here. But I think it's just sad that let me see if I can. Oh, it's Charles E. Brooks Jr. Well, he owns a house on 4234 Lakewood. 4234 Lakewood. And I'm only saying the address because he has it on his Facebook page, so it's public knowledge. So he's been going back and forth with the Detroit Land Bank. So, yeah, this young man has taken some abandoned is pretty much not his property anymore. That if, how can I put this? Okay, it says, take further notice, individuals or entities interested in purchasing, encumbering, or converting this property should contact Land Bank Authority. This was on March the 21st of 2025. And this came from the principal attorney of the Detroit Land Bank Authority, attorneys for the plaintiffs. So you have a man that, listen, okay, let's just take out he was sick and anything like that. You have a man that has numerous properties around the city of Detroit. He's trying to fix the city up. You have court dates that are going on that this young man has never been notified of, because they're sending it to a P.O. box that he doesn't own. Then out of the blue, because this story is gaining traction on social media, all of a sudden now there was a text message that somebody who worked from the city sent Mr. Brooks and said, hey, they're trying to, in essence, I'm just going to tell you what it's saying in a nutshell. They trying to take your property from you, man. You better do this, and you got to do this, and you got to do that. Then all of a sudden, Mr. Brooks started going live, and all of a sudden the land bank is popping up over his house, trying to scare him, scare tactics. You know, oh, your property is a nuisance. You have debris on your property. You have a dirt pile that needs to be, I don't know, leveled out. You got bricks that need to be picked up. Well, the man is renovating a house on his property, which is inside of a fenced area. Now all of a sudden they're saying, oh, we're getting complaints by the neighbors. It ain't hardly no neighbors over there. What neighbors is complaining about him having bricks out of place in his backyard, a dirt pile, some weeds that's a little bit long, which you can't really do nothing about because we just came out the winter months. It's not even summer yet. Meanwhile, catty corner to this beautiful castle, you have an abandoned school where the weeds is taller than the school. The windows are busted out, but you want to harass this man for blight. Meanwhile, you own a building that's unsafe for children in that neighborhood, that's unsafe, you know, for squatters, drug addicts, but you're going after this man. So of course you have people that are on social media who are influencers now running with the story. And of course the people are now siding. They're taking sides. So, you know, the city of Detroit residents have been going out to the house to help them get the house clean, because originally the land bank said it was the property that they were showing up at that needed to be clean. Well, we know that not to be true, because a gentleman came from the land bank and stated on camera that they was talking about the house behind the castle that's on his property. So of course the people rush out there to help clean it up so that this man can still, you know, proceed with his healing of, you know, him having a stroke. Well, yeah, today the land bank issues some kind saying that, oh, we're not talking about the castle and the property that's on the on the property for the castle. Now we're talking about other properties that he owned in the city of Detroit. Well, then why does all the court papers have the address to the property that's behind the castle? Now, the only reason why I believe everything that Mr. Brooks is saying is because, and I'm not sure why this person has not stepped up and said anything, We have a very prominent person in the city of Detroit brought a house from the land bank, fixed the house up, did not know that the land bank had never taken the house off of the demolition list. Now, this person had renovated the house in the time allowed. The house was livable. The house was somebody, was actually getting ready to move into the house. They go over to the house to do the last inspection or look at the house, and the whole house was gone. They had demolished this lady's house. And when questions went about, where's my house? Who authorized for this house to be torn down after I brought it and fixed it up? Of course, nobody at the land bank know what's going on. Of course, everybody is passing the buck. Now, I haven't heard anything about this house in, maybe in close to a year. Maybe the city paid this prominent person off, and whatever they paid them was sufficient enough for that person. Now, we're going to scoot on down the street where I go and get my hair done in Detroit. These people brought up a block, and they have made it a community garden. They made it a house where they redid a whole block where they tore everything down, made the block into a what do you call it? A park, but it's more like it's a park where you have upgraded like technology and stuff like that on the park. You have the park is beautiful. I did a story on it maybe about a year ago. I never knew that this place existed. And then they brought a house next door to it. It's made it a community house where you can rent it out or you can rent space to cook in it and stuff like that. Now, the city uses that person house that they brought from the land bank, and they bring tours. When the big white people come in, they want to show them certain parts of the city. Well, they bring a tour bus with all these big wig people all the time to come and see this house. Do you know that the city have made these people pay a astronomical amount of money for you got to do this. So they got to dig under the ground. They got to put cables in. They got to pay for lighting. They got to pay. It is ridiculous. So when you say the land bank, people get on social media and say the land bank, you just got to do what they tell you to do. They dirty down there. They are dirty down at the land bank. Duggan is dirty. And I don't care who don't like it. I don't care, what you may say. I know he has a lot of minions, people that he has hired, people who he has hired to search the internet and social media and counter what people are saying negative towards him and or the city. It moves me not. I care if not. It is what it is. They have had people in control of the land bank who have done the city of Detroit residents like dirt. They have done these people so bad. And I hate what they're doing to Mr. Brooks because he's really trying to make a difference in the city of Detroit. And we need residents like that. And for them to put pressure on this man and harass this man and then flip-flop, when it's not going good for them, flip-flop, oh, we're talking about the castle. Then it wasn't the castle. Then it was the house behind the castle. Now, all of a sudden, it's not the house behind the castle, but it's the other properties that he's had, which also has never been given blight tickets. So somebody is not telling the truth. Somebody is lying. And I feel like, as the city of Detroit, they have been playing in our face forever. They've been playing in our face forever. Nobody has said anything. And I don't know if you remember hearing this, Rico. All the people who lost their house and their house was sold off because they inflated the taxes on the houses. and people couldn't pay the taxes and they end up losing their house. They made grandma and them move out. They sold their houses and stuff like that. And then come to find out that the tax was wrong on a house and all them people lost their houses. And of course, you know, some city officials went on to say, how are we going to compensate these people? These are people who had these houses for 30, 40, 50, 60 years, houses that's been passed to generation to generation. And you put these people out. You put grandma and them out. And we ain't heard nothing else about that. We heard that they was going to rectify the situation. I've never heard the story, or neither have none of the news carry the story of how they have compensated these people. So it's not like it's the first time that the city of Detroit have done people dirty. The business part of the city is just not up to par. Yeah. When you go down there to find out about taxes, to pay bills, they never have one answer for you. You can go in this department, they give you an amount. You go into another department, they give you an amount. You go into another department, it's another amount. None of their systems are connected unless they've done it within the last year. So you don't know a lot of times how much tax you owe. You don't know how much your bills are, because it fluctuates depending on who you talk to. Or possibly, allegedly, from me, depending on what type of money the city needs. The city need. So I just say, I really want to say thank you to the people who went out to Mr. Brooks' house and assisted him in cleaning up. But I really feel like something has to be done with what the land bank is doing to the people. Especially to this gentleman. He's been working tirelessly to buy up these how do you say the word? Decapitated. How you say it? These bad houses. These houses that look horrible. They've been buying up these houses, trying to fix them up so that the area can be, nice and stuff like that. And for people and for the city to harass them. And then you got people who don't know nothing, who think they know everything, to, to further push their lies. It's just crazy to me. It's crazy. And I don't know if it was today or tomorrow. Tomorrow they're supposed to have another day of cleanup around his house. And then you have people that look like us. This man is us. Only us. We're supposed to be down for us. Y'all would jump on the white man boat and let your people sink every time. That bothers me. Rico, that bothers me. Because we would think the worst of our people and think the best of them before we even do research. We will kill off our people to satisfy them at the drop of a dime. Like we won't give a black person the benefit of the doubt. But maybe what he's saying is true. Let's research. Let's take the emotion out. Let's calm down. Let's hear what he's trying to say. You know how older people get. Sometimes they're trying to tell you what's going on. And they could be so hurt. And sometimes they words stumble. So you got to really pay attention to them to really understand what they're trying to convey, past their emotions. We don't give the older people the benefit of the doubt. All of a sudden, you lying. You got to get up. And nobody cares. And this one dude, now he's in a wheelchair. So anybody who should understand somebody with a disability for a moment, he should really understand. Now you in a wheelchair and you talking about some F him in his stroke. I was done. I was completely done. How
I don't think I heard about that. You said he said F him in the stroke.
He said F him and his stroke. You got to stop making excuses. You been in a wheelchair. You would think you would have some kind of compassion for the next person that, whether it was temporary or not, has some sort of disability. When you have a stroke, that's not easy. Sometimes you have to learn how to talk again. You have to learn how to stand up. You have to learn how to walk. You have to learn how to eat. Sometimes your words is slur. You know, sometimes you think you're talking fast, but the words are coming out slow. And this dude had the audacity to say, F him having a stroke. I almost passed out. Because that tells me the heart of the people. We don't have compassion one for another anymore. I don't know where we got this heart hysteria, or our heart has gotten so cold that we are no longer our brother's keeper. We no longer have each other's back. Whatever the white man tell us is right. And every time the black man open up his mouth, it's wrong.
I think that might just be certain people, though. I understand what you're saying, but and maybe because I don't really associate with as many people as I used to, but a lot of people who I associated with and grew up around, we most definitely didn't follow what the white man say. A lot of us didn't follow what black folks say neither, but it depends on what they was talking about. But I know most of the people I grew up around, you had some people who might have feared white folks and was doing stuff to black people, but they was afraid to go across 8 Mile and all that type of stuff when I was younger. But in these day and times, I think people just totally just disrespectful, period. Some of them get around white folks and whoever, wherever they go, and they just act ignorant.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So I believe it depends on the people. I just know the generation that we came up in, you did have a lot of people who probably still was a little bit afraid of white folks and stuff like that. But I don't necessarily know if it's like that now.
We come too far for that.
You know, so I don't know. It's hard to say. I do see some things like that when it comes to far as shopping and stuff. So it still is a mental aspect of it for sure. Like instead of spending money with somebody who, you know what I'm saying, with a black person or even somebody you know, a lot of people, you can have a product that's just as good or better than these products that's out here, and they just still go
To the white man.
A lot of it is.
I mean,
is
people can
bigger
spend
than
their money
that,
where
though.
they want, but you would think an allegiance to your own people.
A lot of it is because they just want to, like, somebody can create something and it might not even be like I done bought shoes before that might have cost like $500-$600 shoes or something, like some Gucci's or something like that. And they be real. You get them from the place and they really ain't all that comfortable, a lot of them. You might have some, but a lot of that stuff is overrated. You know what I'm saying? It's just the name that's attached to it.
Yeah.
And that's because people want to show off that I got money because look what I'm wearing. And some of these people spend that money on these clothes, but don't even got no money in their pocket. So that's
Or
crazy.
their bank account. But I just, you know, this whole story this week have been really bothering me because it's like, it just puts me in the mindset of everything that's going on, even with our government and our country. People can have receipts. People can show you. People, it be in black and white and bold print, you know, and they can show you, look, I'm not lying to you. This is what, you know what I'm saying? People can show you text messages. People can let you hear voicemail and they will still believe the white man over the black man. And it's right here in plain sight. I don't know why that bothers me so. And probably because we're in the predicament we're in, because the white man is always right. Now, the black woman was telling you what was going to take place, and nobody wanted to believe it. And now that it's all unfolding, yeah, but it's going to get better. You know, he really have our best interests at heart. And it's like, you still holding on to the lie? Like, he playing in our face and you still holding on to this lie.
Who you talking about right now? Trump or something?
No, I'm just talking about, yeah, Trump. I'm talking about Trump, but I'm just saying in general. Like, we could have receipts and people will still call people a lie. Like, this man at this house has receipts. He has court papers. He has text messages. And they still want to say this man is lying. He just wanted y'all to get out there to help him clean up. Well, if I choose to go over there and clean, why can't I do that out of the kindness of my heart? Why I got to be a scam? We don't trust nothing. It's something that's wrong with us. And I'm not saying it's an individual thing. It's something that's going on inside of us that we have totally disconnected from each other, where we don't trust each other. We don't believe each other. We don't support each other. You know, we do our own people so bad.
I agree with that. I believe a lot of people do, but I think the day and age we in now, it's not necessarily just like believing the white man over the black person. I believe it depends on what it is, though.
Mm-hmm.
But a lot of times now we dealing with media, so they just believe anybody who try to tear you down.
Yeah.
Like even the stuff like with the 50 Cent and the Big Meech thing
Mm-hmm.
or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
All the paperwork and stuff I haven't seen anything yet that said that man told anything. You know what I'm
But
saying?
social media make you feel
But
like, oh, he
because
lying.
50 Cent said it or whatever, they're just gonna go with that. You know what I'm saying?
50 Cent now. You know I love 50 Cent now.
Yeah, but at the same time, we all know too, though, he says things on purpose
Yep.
to get under people's skin
Yep.
and tear them down and to make people think. So he could just be saying it and throwing it out there. Part
That's
of that
true.
is the art of war.
That's true.
Because you already know that's one of the things. Somebody call you a black man if you straight, if they call you gay. Or if you a stand-up type of person and then they call you a rat or a snitch. Those are things that get under our skin from the era and the places that we come from. You know what I'm saying? So sometimes people will try to assassinate your character.
That's true.
And they do it even in our own neighborhoods. They do it all the time. Would do stuff to try to assassinate your character, to get under your skin, or catch you when you're down. Like he on parole. He can't even really respond too
Probably
much.
like you want to,
you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Think he still was in the halfway house. Or
He
like
is.
some people might be in prison. So it's certain things you out here, you wasn't saying nothing in their face, but then they in prison, then you talk about a person. I've seen that happen too. Or you have people know that you done a lot of time in jail, you home, you on parole, and they
I think didn't 50 Cent buy the halfway house here?
I don't know, I heard that. But that's another thing like that. Like, a lot of this just is social media. This is the stuff they say on social media. So that's really the point I was making, because I don't know none of all of their business.
Right.
But I'm just saying as a whole, somebody can put anything out on the internet. I've seen people say that
That's so true.
this such and such person is deceased. And then these people still be living.
Right.
But people just throw anything out there on social media. You got like people like Whack 100s and all that type of people. Whatever they say on there, you're going to have somebody pick that up and run with it, and it don't even be true a lot of times.
That's so true. I just think that we have to I don't know what my son be calling me knowing I'm on air. I just think that when you come to somebody who is our senior, and I think Mr. Brooks is our senior. He's one of our elders. I think that he's had a heart attack, and now he's going through, his blood pressure's through the roof. He got online this morning and showed the numbers.
Yeah.
Like 169 over 100 and something. They trying to kill this man off. All this man want to do is build a legacy to leave for his family. Then you got people online stating, well, where's his family? Why his family not out there helping him clean? We don't know if his family was out there or not.
Yeah.
But what does that have to do with what he feel like God has told him to do as far as leaving a legacy for his family. It's, to me, stuff like that is easy. Either you're going to help or you don't. Nobody is forcing you. Nobody is forcing you to go over there with a rake, a broom, a shovel, a garbage bag. You don't have to show. But don't discourage other people who, you know what I'm saying, who heart may be into, you know, participating or helping beautify the community, although it's somebody's property. When we go and help seniors, you know, sometimes I haven't done it in years, but when we used to go cut the seniors' grass and rake it, you know what I'm saying? We used to shovel their snow. That helped beautify the community, although it's a personal property. What is that any of your business? If you're not going to help, then don't discourage somebody else from doing it.
Yeah.
You had people in the comment, well, how's that going to help the community? That's on his property. The same way when a senior need assistance and we go shovel their snow, we go cut their grass, we go make sure the bush is not too high so they can see when they coming in and out of their household. It's the same thing. Whatever just happened, you don't even know how frustrated I am with the way they doing this man. Because he's genuinely a really good guy. He really is. And I just hate for good people for their name to be tarnished, you know, because some people don't have nothing else better to do with their life, or they done caught on to a story and they want the clicks. You know what I'm saying? They want the clicks, you know, because there's money that come along with the clicks. You know, so if you get people to engage, you know what I'm saying, that's money in your pocket. But it can also be at the detriment of somebody's good name.
Yeah, I think one of the differences is nowadays too. Back when we was coming up, a lot of people, and not everybody, but I would say a lot of people, they owned their homes. You know.
Is the camera on you?
It's on both of us.
Because I got to step up for a second.
All right. It's on me. Yeah, they owned their homes back in the days. So it's like, with being a homeowner, a lot of times people would take care of their property, and they wanted to take care of their neighborhood and stuff like that. But nowadays, a lot of the houses are owned by corporations and companies and things of that nature that's buying up the neighborhoods, or they're owned by people who don't even live in the neighborhoods anymore. You know, you have a lot of people who may be Caucasian or Chaldeans or whoever, and they're buying up different property. And the ones who are from a foreign land, who buying up whole neighborhoods, they kind of taking over the neighborhood. Like certain areas, it even spilt over from, I remember Hamtramck was buying up, like you see some of the houses that the Arabs have, they done built whole stories on top of it and stuff like that.
You go to Dearborn, you see it like that.
Our old house that I used to live in when I was young, right over like it's on the border. It's Detroit, but it's on the border.
Okay.
On Kniff, like right before you get to Mount Road, like they done put a whole new floor on top of the house. And then I've seen they got little baby mansions and stuff they done built. But then going over by like Davidson area, by like Cleveland Middle School and stuff, they got that, the Bangladesh got that school now. And it's a sign that say, welcome to Bangladesh.
Oh, do they? Because it used to be a Detroit public school.
Yeah.
Because I used to work there, and they used to come in every day at certain times, and they had designated rooms for them to do their praying.
Yeah, it says when you coming from Davidson, if you come off Davidson,
that right
Expressway, and then you make a right, it's a sign right there next to the school that says, welcome to Banglatown.
Wow.
And they have a nice amount of that area in them blocks and stuff that it's a bunch of them that's over there. Some people get them confused with the Arabs, but it's a difference between
I thought they
them.
were, but maybe, okay.
No, Bangladesh. Bangladesh is different between the Arabs. Bangladesh, they're more like a form of like a Indian.
Okay.
They favor though.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? But it is a difference. That's just like it's a difference between Albanians and Yugoslavians and stuff.
Okay.
But some people really can't tell or don't know the difference.
But then when
because
we
of
see
the way
them
they
building
dress.
up communities like that, nothing is said. They're not harassed. But as soon as you see an African American man and or a woman do it, then they just trying to scam the city, the block, the community. It's always an issue that comes along when you see us building, or building up, and I don't understand that.
And it's usually a mission with them. It's like it's a mission, and everybody it might be somebody who might be head of the mission or something like that. But you have people who fall in line. When it comes to us, a lot of times you have somebody gonna try to get over on somebody, and this and that or whatever. So it all depends on the team that you have around you, and a lot of that deals with just the mindset. A lot of them came over here with the mindset of we're gonna come over here to take advantage of the things that's over here, and we're gonna gain and we're gonna send money back or whatever. Even some black people, you have some people from like Senegal and other areas like that who own all types of business and corporations and stuff. And before then you had Nigerians and stuff that was coming over here, and they was getting stuff like in different areas, especially like in New York and stuff like that.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So you do have people of color who come over to America and they bring their families or they build up generational wealth and they send the stuff back home or whatever. You know what I'm saying? It's just us, a lot of the black folks with that was born and raised in America, the mindsets that we have, it's like it's still in the some of it is still in like that slave mode or like crabs in the barrel or whatever mentality.
How do we move from that? Because I see it a lot. Like one of our viewers was saying they'll rather see him lose his house for it to end up with another versus seeing generational development, one of its own in the community. I'm hoping the city and the land bank leave them alone. There is so much blight and property owners just sitting on buildings, and they aren't getting any fines or notice from the city. I mean, if we even think about Gilbert, you think about, all the different top people that are in the city that have land and buildings that they're not keeping up. You have a lot of city officials that own houses that they're not keeping up. You have leaders. You got the Illiges, you got the Fords, you got certain people that owe thousands upon thousands of dollars on into millions in bills that the city is not actively trying to collect, rather still making deals with them and passing that, those bills off to the community. But we ain't saying nothing about none of that stuff. None of that. You get a bill, I get a bill from the electric company. If we owe over $100, it automatically go into shut-off status. They can run up bills for 10, 20, 50, 80,000, 100,000, and nothing is said and done. But you want to... That's crazy.
A lot of times in our community too, it's like you could be doing something that's good and you helping the community and you helping people. And a lot of people want to take advantage of everything that you're doing for them.
Yeah.
But they don't want to come together on certain things. It could be something like you can have a pair of $200, $300 pair of shoes on or whatever, but it's like you can't even commit to giving $25 a month to something that's of a great purpose or something like that.
That's so true.
You know what I'm saying? So it's like, that's the thing that trips me out. Everybody wants you to do everything just to satisfy them and help them, but they don't want to put in on nothing. Even if they see what you're doing is something that's for a good cause.
And why are we talking about that? Listen, there's always good causes going on at Detroit Table Talk. I have put the Cash App down there. I have pinned it. We feed the homeless. We have adopted a men's homeless shelter in the downtown Detroit area. So anything that you donate, it goes to the homeless, it goes to our children, and it goes to our seniors. So donate, okay? It doesn't matter how much it is. Donate. And then also like, comment, and share. Always leave a comment, even if it's just to say hello, or I'm watching or I stopped in. Leave a comment. And then don't forget to go over to YouTube and subscribe and leave comments over there too. I'm trying to build up my platform. And I would appreciate it if you guys would help me do that. Share the broadcast. And I don't know if you want to share today's because I was fussing today. Because I'm heated. No. But I want us to come together as a community and do more things to help each other out, rather trying to pull each other down. Now, Mr. Brooks, we have your back. We have your back. Whatever you need from us, we got your back. We're going to help you get through this. Not only we're going to help you get through this, you're going to be able to focus on your health. Because this doesn't make any sense. And in the meantime, between time, listen, Detroit Land Bank, the property blight department, go on and find somebody else to mess with, okay? Let this man get this done, but also extend some grace because he's working at a deficit while he's healing from his stroke. Can we just do that? That's all I'm asking. Now, you social media bullies. Yeah, I forgot I was on air. I didn't open up another piece of candy. I got this candy line, guys. I went to this candy store and they sell like penny candy. Well, it's not penny candy, but what we used to know as penny candy. And I got a whole bag, but anywho. I forgot what I was about to say. Yeah, let's push Mr. Brooks, over. Let's continue to support him and make sure that the city don't take his house. Because that house is beautiful. So I know why they want to take the house. They're going to take it and sell it. No, Mr. Brooks, we're not going to let that happen. We are praying for you. We are covering you. And you're going to get through this. You're going to definitely get through this. So that's all I came on to say today. I don't mean to be smacking in y'all ear, but I just came on to talk about the current events the few that I just thought, I wanted to talk about. But this was the main one, dealing with Mr. Brooks. The house is beautiful. I wish I could show it to you guys. Let me see. What was the address? You remember the address? Hold on, y'all. Let me see what the address is. Because I want to show y'all this house. Because this house is beautiful. This house is beautiful. I think it was 40. Was it 42? 34? Lakewood. I want y'all to see this house. Can I show this? Guys, I'm finna show y'all this house. They doing this man so bad. This man broke down and cried. Ooh. Go back. Can I show it? Okay. Okay, guys, so there we go. Look at this house. This house is beautiful. Now he's I want y'all to just look at how it started, and hopefully you'll see how it came about. One house at a time. But I want to show y'all another picture of how, because it's so much better than what this is on the screen. Let me see if I can bring up the one that's recent. Oh man, I don't think I can bring up the one that's recent. I'm like, Jesus Christ. They really trying to do this brother in. I think this is more recently. Yep, this is more recently, guys. Look at this house.
You want to hear it too?
Mm-hmm.
Gracious and eternal God, thank you for the moment. We thank you for the hour. God, we thank you for this man that you have sent to
He has done
who had an interest in sharing what you have done. Oh, gracious and merciful God, we thank you for all that you have done and all that you are doing. And God, we ask that as we walk this holy ground, that your will be done according to your will and your way, God, that you touch right now, and that the words that come out of our mouth, as they are spread all over the world, God, that it's for your will and your will only. God, we ask that everyone that hears what you have to say through my voice, God, that is delivered, even to the haters that are going to hear this message, that you turn their thoughts around, that what I've done here through the power of you and you only to rebuild our city, that God, that you touch everyone all the way from the hills, Father, all the way back down to Detroit. We thank you for the moment. We thank you for the hour, what has been done. God, cover this man in this interview as you have continued to cover me through this journey. In the matchless name of your son, Father, we say thank you.
I'm just going to skip, guys, because I want to, we're going to get up out of here.
This, or say that, I say this, that, say, and so you, but you said you went a step further. You sent me a whole letter. You remember? I said, for real? But then he closed it out. This guy's nuts. He say, your money who's who, and are recognized as they carry out their scheme of things. The old way of doing things.
I want to tap into some of the comments I've been getting on your home. A lot of people are, upset by it. They're saying that this is gentrification. It's going to make everybody's taxes go up, and basically you're pushing the little guys out that are around you. What do you got to say about that? Hold on.
I want to talk about well, you asked me like 4 questions. Let's talk about the harm is not here. The biggest harm is not me. The biggest harm is what the city has done to me. See, the biggest harm that takes place is they don't want me here. They didn't want me here prior to me even getting to this point.
Okay, guys.
I caught hell when I had a single house.
Charles,
they wanted to push us out of here. So let's talk about that. And come on, we're gonna
and follow the story. Start at the first thing and then go and look at his story. I'm telling you, it's a phenomenal story. It encouraged other people to do the same for their family. We always talking about leaving a legacy for our children's children. This is a blessing. This is an absolute blessing. And this have taken him time. This is not something he did overnight. It's been, over a decade, that he's been building his house, just buying up all the property and the homes that's in that area that's been left unattended for decades. I just think it's a blessing. I think it's a blessing. So, Mr. Charles, you got our support. We're not gonna let the city take your property from you. But anywho, guys, it is Autism Month. Autism Awareness Month, and we want you to make sure that you do something or contribute something when it comes to giving out information about autism, allowing your kids to participate in events this month. On the 13th, we have a community dinner. If we can show that flyer, we want you to come out.
That's the one with Dice.
We want you to come out. Everything is free. We want you to get connected. There's resources that's going to be available. So come on out. Hezekiah paints the D blue. He is in partnership with Dice Clark. And we're going to be celebrating Autism Awareness Month. And we're also going to be celebrating my buddy's birthday. On that morning, that Sunday morning, we're going to be going to church with him from 8:30 to 10:30. And then later on that day, we're going to be there celebrating autism awareness. I got to go. I've held up Rico long enough with my fussing. But next week, guys, I have some great guests coming up. I am super excited about some of the guests that I have, and you're going to love them because we got to get some people's story out there, and we got to show you that, life can life, but, if you get in the right circle, if, you just tap into what God is telling you, it can change the trajectory of your life. So I'm excited about some of these brothers. They was with us last week when we did the 50 Kings mentoring program. I met some phenomenal men there, phenomenal. And quite a few of them have agreed to come to the table. So we look forward to that. But until then, we will see you next week back at the table for Autism Awareness Month. I'll talk to you guys later.